Ma'am. So, I'm Anna Marie M. Balalong from Stratford International School, third year BP Ed. So, mag-interview ko, ma'am, about how you cope up this pandemic, ma'am. So, pwede mabala nimong pangalan, imong edad, asa ka na school na trabaho, o pila nakaka-years sa service, ma'am?
So hello, good evening. So I am Marjeline Amontero, 24 years old, currently connected now in Malapatan National High School in that ed, and I'm 3 years now in service.
So, nakoy upat ka questions, ma'am. So, mag-start ko sa pinakauna po. What are the difficulties of PE teachers in delivering PE and health in K-12 before the COVID-19 pandemic po? So
Actually, there are a lot of difficulties in physical education, especially in teachers. So because we do have our learners, making it our 10, diverse learners, mga diverse learners tayo, which is may mga bata na natututo in a different ways. So before the pandemic, our difficulties, the main difficulties talaga is how to address those students na who cannot give their full participation in the class, and there are students also who is shy during participation, and there are some students who cannot show their skills because they cannot go out of their shell. Yun. Before the pandemic.
So, yung sa pangalawa naman pong question, ma'am, is what challenges did PE teachers encounter in assessing learning in K-12 PE and health before pandemic po pa? So, ano yung mga challenges
So,
nyo?
the challenges of the physical education, the PE teachers, actually there are a lot. So, especially to the students, shall we say, in the far-flung areas. They are not already mode. They are not already mode, especially yung mga very difficult activities na do not tackle during PE. Not just in PE, but also in health. So, medyo malayo sila compare doon sa mga bata na nandito na nakatira sa may barrio compared doon sa mga far-flung areas. So, we need to say, their confidence or level of their confidence is very low, especially to their self-esteem because they are shy, and also to their critical thinking skills, and especially how to analyze what are the concepts to perform, what are the concepts to present, and how to mold their skills, especially in presenting a presentation. Yes.
Yun yung challenges nyo po. So, yung sa... Apo. So, yung number 3 naman po na questions is, what problems do PE teachers na-encounter nyo po sa health sa health po, sa gitna ng pandemya naman po? Ano po yung mga problema?
Health na naman tayo sa health. Gitna na before or
sa gitna na po ng
number 3 na ito?
Opo, sa gitna ng pandemya naman. Number 3.
What are the problems that the teachers encounter na in the delivery of K-12 curriculum damage in the pandemic?
Yes po.
So actually there are a lot of problems, especially in the curriculum itself. So, there are learning competencies na hindi ma-achieve because of the pandemic. So, what we do is to merge all of the learning competencies, because may tinatawag tayo health system, the learning competencies which we follow, so in order to have a smooth process to assess the students. So, what we did is problem. The first and foremost is how to achieve the successful online teaching, especially in achieving the learning competencies. Next is yung mga problem areas, how they are going to answer the modules by basing the learning competencies in our curriculum.
Mm-mm.
And the third is activities, how they are going to do the activities. And the last one is the practicum. So, how the students can conduct a smooth practicum. Because before, physical education has been traditionally considered as a hands-on activity, diba?
Yes, ma'am.
So, we have considered the PE as practical. So, now, during the pandemic, it's really hard to teach the students, especially in the online teaching, online class. So, hindi kami makagather ng mga students na para maka-teach kami. Limited lang yung mga bata na maka-access online. So, what we did is yung modules. Yung modules na nilalagay namin doon ng mga instruction, but still, the students is hardly to adapt the system now, the educational system now. So, for us, PE teacher, the PE curriculum, there are four. Yung tinatawag rin the online class, the far-flung area students who cannot really adapt the learning system nowadays. And the third one is the activities. And the last one is the assessment of the student. Yeah, yan yung mga very main problem na may physical education na subject. Or, hindi lang sa PE, kundi yung MAPE. Yung tinatawag natin yung mga
MAPE. So, thank you, ma'am. So, sa number 4 question naman po. So, what difficulties do PE teacher? Same as number 1, di ba, ma'am? Pero, sa K-12 curriculum.
Okay, what are the difficulties do? What difficulties do PE teachers encounter now in assessing learners learning in K-12 curriculum? So what do you mean by this? Because ano yung ginawa ng mga PE teacher? So during the challenges, process the problem. Ito ba yun?
Ano po yung mga paghihirap nyo po sa pagtuturo ngayon, ma'am?
So actually, pagtuturo, PE teachers hardly to provide educational strategies, especially limited lang yung mga bata na naka-avoid ng mga blended learning. Ang tinatawag natin na blended learning is students can access online, students can answer through module, students can pass the activity through online. So yan, may tatawag tayo kasi tinatawag tayo printed modalities and blended learning. So, yung mga paghihirap na natin namin last year, students na hindi makaprovide ng mga activities. Kasi, in the PE curriculum, 70% is physical performance and 30% for the written work. So, that's the main problem in physical education. The assessment ng bata at practical nila. So, if I come to assess that, so we propose individual learning. We propose individual activities. Individual activity. Aside sa individual activity, we apply the intro-based learning and self-exploratory. Self-exploration learning. Kasi yung bata, mas makakabigay kami ng feedback kapag yung bata is more on focused on self-activity, right?
Hello, my name is Harold Caparos and I am a MAPE teacher from Holy Trinity College. So now I will be going to answer these questions. Now let's start with number 1. What are the difficulties of PE teachers in delivering PE and health in K-12 before the COVID-19 pandemic? Well, I think for me is the approach or the technique on how are we going to communicate with our students to perform those basic skills from PE or health. Because we all know that nowadays all the students are engaged in social medias like TikTok, like ML or Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media platforms. So, they don't want to perform any activities during PE and health because they just want to stay at their chairs, on their chairs, and also look at their phones all the time. So, well, yeah, that's the challenge for us teachers before the pandemic because we have to engage our students to do the activities for PE and health. We have to be more, we have to consider their interests for them to be more motivated and for them to be more engaged about the topic and also for them to participate well without twice thinking, you know? So I guess that is the most challenging part as a teacher for me before the pandemic because I have to remove them from, being engaged to social media platforms. Okay, now let's have number 2. What challenges did PE teachers encounter in assessing learners' learning in K-12 PE and health before the pandemic? For me, the most challenging part about assessing the students is, not all the students are capable enough to do such tasks or performances or activities according to the book because some students can do it because they are athletes or they're physically ready, they're physically healthy, so they can do it. But also there are students who cannot do it because they're not ready to do some physical tasks. So it's a hard time for me if I will be going to give them low scores, the students who cannot do it, but they did their very very best. For them it is their best performance, but for me it is not. So I am having this twice thinking. I will give them high scores or not. I will give them high scores because they did their best, but I will not give them high scores because it is not they are not following according to the level of intensity of the performance according from the book. So it is a challenging part for me to do it. And also the students who can do it properly will also think that I think teacher is not fair because he is also giving them high scores, the students who cannot do it, even if they are doing it perfectly. So I need to balance the both parts. So I think that is the most challenging part for me in assessing my students for PE and health before the pandemic. Okay, for our next question, what problems do PE teachers encounter now in the delivery of K-12 PE curriculum amidst the pandemic? Um, we are now in the new normal setting, and also we are having these online classes since last year. And for us PE teachers, it has a positive effect and also a negative effect because some students can excel during face to face, but also some students can also excel more during the online learning. So I think it is also a hard time for me or for us teachers, PE teachers, because there are some certain activities or tasks that only be done during face to face. But we have to think of some certain ways for us to also enable them to still do the activity even if we are having this online scheme for the lessons. So I think the limitations, yes, the limitations and also the equipments, because of course, for example, we're having the sports activities, so there are some students who doesn't have any equipments, so that's also a hard time for them. But so as a teacher, we also have to think some alternatives or some alternative equipments for them to be able to still participate on our topic, to perform the tasks about the topic. So I guess that's the problem, the limitations, and also the equipments of the students, because we are now having this online scheme, so it is a hard time for them too. because they cannot ask question personally, they cannot perform well because of their internet connection, and also, yeah, many problems about the online scheme. But still, we are still doing our very, very best for them to be able to participate well in our activities. Okay, so what difficulties do PE teachers encounter now in assessing learners' learning in K-12 curriculum? Okay, so as a PE teacher, we have this performance matrix, performance basis, performance criteria for the students, because we need to test their balance, their strength, their agility, their speed, and etc. So we cannot do it, or we cannot check it through face-to-face because we're having this online scheme. So we are just requiring them to submit a video doing those following tasks or tests. But I don't know if they are sending me a raw video or an edited video, because students nowadays also know some they have this high level of editing skills, video editing skills. So they can fake their balance, they can fake their strength, they can fake their speed. It depends on how are they going to edit it. So I need to know their real results. But I cannot do it, or I cannot check it because they are just sending me the video. Yes, so it's a really, really hard time for me to assess them because I cannot see them, or I cannot check them face to face. Yes, so that's a challenge for me, because we also have this other choice that what if we check them through Zoom or through Google Meet, that they will do the activities, but there are some students who doesn't have a strong internet connection, or they're buffering, they're lagging. So it's still a hard time for me to test their results. So yes, that's a challenging part for me in assessing them about PE and health in today's situation. Thank you.